Hello. This is the fourth video in my series of videos called Beyond Tolerance Towards Unity. In my previous video, I covered the topic, is cow God? And my answer or my argument was based on a theory propounded by the renowned Islamic and inter-religious scholar Dr. Zakir Naik, that Prophet Muhammad, the seal of prophets, according to Islamic belief, was none other than Lord Kalki, the last incarnation in the chain of incarnations according to Hinduism. I don't entirely agree with that theory, but I took it at face value because my previous video was addressed to those friends of mine, especially my Muslim friends, who usually take Dr. Zakir Naik's theories at face value. In this video, I'll address the same question again, is cow God? But this will be a generic treatment. Let me come to the Abrahamic faiths. Judaism, Christianity and Islam. Judaism and Christianity share a good number of books in their respective religions. One common book is the book of Genesis, which is the first book in the Torah. The Torah is the core scripture of Judaism, which is believed to have been revealed by God to Moses and 3 million Jews at Mount Sinai. In the book of Genesis, chapter 1, it is said that God made man in his likeness. It is not very clear from this what is meant by in his likeness. But we take it that in some way, in some crude way, we are like God. Because God made man in his own likeness, as per chapter 1 of the book of Genesis. In Genesis chapter 2, there is some more clarity on this, where it is said, God gave life to man by sharing his own breath. So, the breath, the breathing that we do in and out is actually God's breath, which he has shared with us, as per the book of Genesis, to which both Judaism and Christianity subscribe. That is for humans. God made man in his own likeness. What about animals? What about subhumans? On this is thrown some light in the book called Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, it says, animals and humans have the same breath. Now look, book of Genesis says, God has shared his breath with man. And Ecclesiastes, which is also a book that is shared by both Judaism and Christianity, it is said that animals and humans have the same breath. So if humans have God's breath, animals also have God's breath. I hope I make sense. That is Christianity and Judaism. Now Islam. In Holy Quran, chapter 38, verse number 72, it is said that God breathed his spirit into Adam. God breathed his own spirit into Adam. Adam was the first man on earth according to the Abrahamic faiths. And we are his progeny. We are Adam's progeny. So if God, according to Quran, he breathed this spirit into Adam, that means God's spirit is also in us, since we are Adam's progeny. Plus, also in the Quran, chapter 6, verse 38, it is said that birds and animals are like us people. The Quran says that birds and animals are like us people. They have the communities. They are like us. Now obviously, birds and animals are not like us physically. We walk on two legs, we have two hands. Many animals walk on four legs. Birds fly. So, the sameness, the likeness between animals and us humans that the Quran says is there does not relate to physical appearance. Then what can be the likeness in? Obviously, in the spirit only. Because if the likeness is not physical, it can only be spiritual. So the Quran says two things here. Chapter 38 verse 72, that God breathed His spirit in Adam, from which we conclude that since we are Adam's progeny, we also have God's spirit. And chapter 6 verse 38 says that birds and animals are like us, and that likeness can be spiritual only. So we conclude that birds and animals also have God's spirit in them. There is something of God even in animals. Hope this also makes sense. Now Hinduism. We have covered Judaism, Christianity and Islam in this matter. Now Hinduism. Hinduism says in many ways that we are fragments of God. So Hinduism says that we are, each of us, each living being, not only humans and all living beings, including plants, have in them a particle or a fragment of God. It's called Jivatma. God is Paramatma. The fragment of God inside me, inside you, is Jivatma. So you see, Judaism, Christianity, Islam and Hinduism, all in some way or the other says there is something of God in us. It's breath, or energy, or spirit, or as many say, soul. Soul is that bit of God. Whether it is breath, whether it is His fragment, we all have something of God in us. And animals too. That should mean the cow also has that spirit, or that fragment, or that breath of God that we have. In other words, there is something of God in the cow. And we are supposed to worship God. So if we agree that there is something of God in the cow, what is wrong if I worship the cow? Because I am not worshipping the cow as such, the cow's body, but I am worshipping the God that is residing in the cow. What's wrong with such worship? You can object, saying that even the tiger has the same element of God in it that a cow has. So why not worship the tiger? Well, this takes me back to my prior videos, where I have established that cow is mother. By virtue of us drinking the cow's milk, she becomes mother-like to us. And I have explained this, I have argued this in my second video, which was titled, Is Cow Mother? So cow is mother-like to us. She is mother. The value of her life is lower than the value of human life. Yet she is mother. She is less intelligent. Yet she is mother. If our biological mother is less intelligent, it does not negate her motherhood of ours. Does it? It doesn't. Similarly, the cow is our mother. And we have just seen something of God is in the cow too. And as we saw in my video number 3, that cow is the most favorite animal of Lord Krishna. So just as Muslims perform some respectful rites or rituals in front of that black stone outside Kaaba to show their respect to Prophet Muhammad, not to the stone, but to Prophet Muhammad, then Hindus perform some rituals, some respectful rituals to the cow to show their respect to Lord Krishna. Number 1. Number two, as I said, cow is mother-like because we take her milk. And why? Why so? I have argued before in my video number 2. Is cow mother? If you haven't seen those 2 videos, please go back and see, then you will understand it better. And today we are seeing that there is God in cow also. So, we perform respectful rituals to the cow as a sign of respect to Lord Krishna. We respect the cow enormously, we respect it so much that it borders on worship. But ultimately, what is worship? A very high degree of respect is worship. So, we have a very high degree of respect for the cow because she gives us milk all our life. She is mother to us and she has something of God in her. So, why can't I respect? Why can't I worship? Why can't I respect the cow because I consume her milk? And why can't I worship the cow because there is God in her? Don't tell me this Pandit says so, that Jagat Guru says so, that Maulana says so, that Maulvi says so, that Father says so, that Rabbi says so, this book says so, that book says so. Whoever may say anything, it must comply with logic. It must comply with reason. We have a brain. We have to apply our brain to whatever whoever says. We cannot just learn from verses. You can't learn mathematics by just memorizing a plus b whole square is equal to a square plus 2ab plus b square. You would apply it in solving sums. In the same way, we will not just memorize verses and look in the book, what the book says or what the scholar says. Whatever they say, we will listen, but we'll blend it with our intelligence. There is a verse in the Holy Quran which says, use your brain, use your akal. Since God has given us the best brain among all living beings, let's use it. There is God in every animal, but we worship the cow because it also is mother-like to us. Plus, the cow is also Lord Krishna's favorite. 3 reasons for cow worship. Nothing is wrong with cow worship. God will not send me to hell because I worship the cow. Now, you must have noted that these 3 videos of mine, is cow mother, is cow God part 1 and today's is cow God part 2, they are all defensive arguments, defensive answers. I am answering queries raised by my friends, especially by my Muslim friends online. Since I am answering them, I have used references which they appreciate and I used universal logic which everybody has to appreciate. But there is a classical Hindu answer also to why cow is worshipped. But to give you that answer or to appreciate that answer, that reason, one requires a background knowledge of the concept of God in Hinduism vis-a-vis the concept of God in the Abrahamic faiths. Unless we get the difference in the concepts, we will not be able to understand the classical Hindu theory behind cow worship. So, in my next video, I will cover the concept of God in Hinduism vis-a-vis that in Abrahamic faiths. After I have explained the concept of God, then I will come back to the cow to explain the classical Hindu reason or the classical Hindu theory behind cow worship. So stay tuned, please subscribe to this channel and we shall learn together. Thank you.